Well, look, my responsibility to my children is the highest responsibility I have. So nothing, I didn't do anything that's painful or destructive to them if I can help it.
Well, it's still getting messier and messier in the It Ends With Us feud between co-stars Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni.
Let's dive right into it because the tea is piping hot and the drama is unreal. If you thought Hollywood couldn't get messier, think again. Blake Lively, the golden girl with the dazzling smile and picture-perfect life, might be hiding a far darker side, and her past is coming back to haunt her in ways nobody expected. From whispers of betrayal to acts of revenge, this story has it all. So buckle up because we're unraveling a narrative filled with alleged affairs, broken hearts, and a pattern of behavior that's left even some of Hollywood's biggest names looking over their shoulders.
You're not kidding when you say this is getting messier. The author of that book deleting her Instagram account, another who plays Baldoni's sister in the film, being harassed online for siding with...
Now, let's start where it all seems to begin. Blake Lively's reputation. On the surface, she's the ultimate Hollywood sweetheart, right? The blonde bombshell with charisma to burn, a husband who's everyone's favorite jokester, and a seemingly unblemished track record. But behind the scenes, stories have been swirling for years that paint a different picture altogether. Is she really as innocent as she appears, or has she been playing a carefully crafted role while leaving a trail of scandal in her wake? If you dig a little deeper, it seems Blake has a knack for finding herself at the center of drama, especially when it involves her male co-stars. Case in point, the Ben Affleck saga. Flashback to 2010, when Ben and Blake starred together in The Town. Now, Blake was just 23 at the time, and Ben was 38, married to Jennifer Garner, and seemingly living the dream family life. But according to insiders, Jennifer was already feeling uneasy about her husband working with Blake. Can you blame her? Apparently, Ben wasn't just directing the film, he'd also written some pretty intense and steamy scenes for himself and Blake. And the chemistry. Let's just say it wasn't limited to what happened in front of the camera.
We grew apart. We had a marriage that didn't work. This happens. There's somebody I love and respect, but to whom I shouldn't be married any longer.
Sources who were on set claimed that Blake and Ben's interactions raised a lot of eyebrows. It didn't help that Blake had recently ended her long-term relationship with Penn Badgley, her co-star from Gossip Girl. Coincidence? Maybe, but Hollywood loves a juicy coincidence, doesn't it? Adding fuel to the fire during the promotional tour for The Town, journalists started picking up on some unmistakable flirtation between the two. And let's not forget, this was all happening while Jennifer Garner was still trying to keep her marriage intact. If the rumors are to be believed, Jennifer even forbade Ben from working with Ryan Reynolds on a later project because she didn't want to be anywhere near Blake. That's not just Hollywood gossip. That's the kind of drama you could write a whole movie about.
Ultimately, we tried because we had kids. And then we said, both of us felt like we don't want this to be the model that our kids...
And speaking of Ryan Reynolds, this is where things get even messier. Let's move forward to 2010 again when Blake was cast in Green Lantern alongside Ryan, who was, at the time, married to Scarlett Johansson. Now, Ryan and Scarlett were considered one of Hollywood's elite power couples. But this is Hollywood, and if there's one thing we've learned, it's that no relationship is safe here. From the moment Blake and Ryan started working together, rumors of a spark between them began swirling. Crew members on the set of Green Lantern claimed that the two co-stars were spending an awful lot of time together off set, and not in a way that screamed just friends. There were even whispers of hotel rendezvous, which, if true, would make anyone raise an eyebrow.
That it's a continuation of the smear campaign that Blake initially claims happened while they were promoting the film.
So, what happened next? Well, it wasn't long before Ryan and Scarlett's marriage came to an abrupt end, and just like that, Blake and Ryan were officially a couple. To say Scarlett was livid would be an understatement. According to insiders, she's avoided Blake like the plague ever since. And can you blame her? Imagine watching your marriage unravel while the world speculates about your husband's chemistry with his co-star. Even now, years later, Scarlett reportedly refuses to attend events where Blake might be present, and sources say any mention of Blake's name sends chills up her spine. But here's the kicker. Blake's reputation remained squeaky clean through all of this. The media largely portrayed her as the charming girl next door, while the women left in her wake, Jennifer Garner, Scarlett Johansson, were left to pick up the pieces. How does she manage to come out of these situations unscathed? It's almost as if she's mastered the art of deflection, leaving others to deal with the fallout while she carries on as if nothing happened.
I said that having read through Blake Lively's complaints, that it was evident to me that she was likely under the influence when she filed her complaint.
Fast forward to the present day, and we're looking at Blake's explosive lawsuit against Justin Baldoni, her co-star and director from It Ends With Us. On the surface, this seemed like a straightforward legal battle. Blake accusing Justin of inappropriate behavior and retaliation. But what if this lawsuit isn't just about justice? What if it's about revenge? Let's not forget that Justin reportedly rejected Blake's attempts to get closer during the production of the film. Could this lawsuit be her way of retaliating for that rejection? If you look at her history, there's a pattern that starts to emerge, a pattern of using legal and personal conflicts as a way to assert control and protect her image.
Getting close to her, obviously making small chatter not in character so as not to make the scene, which didn't require dialogue, awkward.
And let's talk about that image for a moment. Blake has always been seen as someone who's calculated and methodical about her public persona, whether it's meticulously curated Instagram posts or her carefully chosen public appearances. She's always in control of how she's perceived. But when things don't go her way, the cracks start to show. Take her recent feud with Anna Kendrick, her co-star from A Simple Favor. Rumors of tension between the two have been swirling for years, with insiders claiming that Blake's diva behavior rubbed Anna the wrong way. The awkwardness was on full display during the SXSW premiere of their sequel, where tensions between the two were palpable. Could this be another example of Blake's inability to maintain professional relationships when things don't go exactly as planned?
Literally, I'm just asking the question, like, how are women allowed to do this, to take something and to make it sound like you survived a... Because that's what it sounded like to the public.
And then there's the issue of her alleged feud with Hollywood royalty. Yes, we're talking about Kate Middleton. Blake reportedly mocked Kate during a particularly vulnerable moment, posting a heavily edited photo of herself and taking what many perceived as a swipe at the Duchess of Cambridge. The timing couldn't have been worse, as Kate was already dealing with intense public scrutiny, while Kate stayed silent on the matter because, royal protocol, sources close to the palace were reportedly furious. Once again, Blake managed to stir up drama while maintaining her perfect public image. All of this brings us back to the question, is Blake Lively's lawsuit against Justin Baldoni really about seeking justice, or is it part of a larger pattern of behavior? The evidence suggests that Blake has a history of manipulating situations to her advantage, whether it's through her relationships, her career choices, or even her public feuds. And while she's managed to maintain her reputation so far, this lawsuit could be the tipping point. The cracks in her carefully constructed facade are starting to show, and the public is beginning to see a side of Blake that she's worked very hard to keep hidden.
And I have got some major scoops. I mean, everybody's talking because the sink is shipping and people want to get onto lifeboats. So let's jump right in. Welcome back to Candace.
But here's the thing. Blake is no stranger to controversy, and she's always managed to come out on top. So the question is, will this be the moment that finally brings her down, or will she once again find a way to spin the narrative in her favor? One thing's for sure. This legal battle is far from over, and the stakes couldn't be higher. With her reputation, her career, and potentially millions of currency units on the line, Blake has a lot to lose if this case doesn't go her way.
So I'm just going to very quickly, before I give you all of the tea that I got over the weekend, I'm going to go over the biggest revelations from the filing.
And that brings us to the next chapter in this unfolding drama, the fallout from Blake's lawsuit and what it means for her future. With public opinion turning against her and her legal team scrambling to control the narrative, is Blake Lively's time as Hollywood's golden girl finally coming to an end? Or does she have one more trick up her sleeve? Stay tuned because this story is just getting started. So let's pick up right where we left off because the drama surrounding Blake Lively and her lawsuit against Justin Baldoni is only getting messier by the minute. If you thought this was a simple case of professional misconduct, think again. This has turned into a full-blown spectacle, with Blake's reputation, career, and millions of currency units hanging in the balance. And trust us, the twists and turns in this story are enough to rival any Hollywood thriller.
You. Like, he literally tells Ryan he wants to be friends with you. And I could just see Ryan sitting there like, yes, this is exactly what I want, a puppy to kick in the mouth. And you'll do what I say.
And where do we stand now? Let's rewind just a little bit to set the stage. Blake filed her lawsuit against Justin Baldoni back in late 2024, accusing him of inappropriate behavior and retaliation during the making of their film. It ends with us, but this isn't just any legal battle. The stakes are incredibly high, and the courtroom has become just one of the battlegrounds. The other, public opinion. And let's be honest, when it comes to celebrity scandals, how the public perceives you can be just as important as what happens in court.
And one of the most significant allegations in Baldoni's lawsuit is that Lively sought to gain control over the editing process of the film. This is important.
The first big development in this saga came when Blake requested a protective order to keep sensitive materials, like private conversations and personal details, out of the public eye. On the surface, it seemed like a reasonable request. After all, nobody wants their dirty laundry aired for the world to see, right? But here's the thing. Blake's legal team didn't just want to protect her privacy. They wanted to keep a lid on everything, from communications with her husband, Ryan Reynolds, to behind-the-scenes footage from the film. And you can guess how that went down with Justin's team. They were quick to push back, calling her request over the top and accusing Blake of trying to control the narrative. According to Justin's lawyer, Brian Friedman, The court rightly quashed much of Blake's overly broad demand, allowing only specific categories of information, like mental health records and security measures, to remain confidential. And here's where it gets interesting. While Blake's team celebrated the judge's ruling as a win, claiming it would protect her from further harm, Justin's camp was just as thrilled. Why? Because the judge made it clear that once this case goes to trial, almost everything will become public anyway. That's right, those text messages, emails, and behind-the-scenes footage Blake fought so hard to keep private, they're likely to come out in the open, and you can bet the media will be all over it.
Blake Lively's team has denied all of these allegations. They have responded to this lawsuit, saying,
Now, let's talk about public perception, because this is where things really start to unravel for Blake. For years, she's been seen as America's sweetheart, the blonde beauty who could do no wrong. But this lawsuit has shone a spotlight on a side of Blake that many fans weren't prepared for. Allegations of diva behavior, strained relationships with co-stars, and a pattern of using legal battles to maintain control. It's not exactly the image she's worked so hard to cultivate. And the public is starting to take notice. Social media has been flooded with debates about the case, with some fans defending Blake and others accusing her of crying wolf. One particularly scathing comment summed it up like this: Blake Lively is always the victim when things don't go her way. Maybe it's time to take a closer look at her pattern of behavior. And speaking of patterns, let's not forget that this isn't the first time Blake has found herself at the center of controversy. Remember the rumors about her feuding with Anna Kendrick on the set of A Simple Favor? Or the whispers of tension with Scarlett Johansson after Blake and Ryan Reynolds got together. These stories may have been dismissed as gossip at the time, but in light of the current lawsuit, they're starting to feel a lot more relevant. Could it be that Blake's public persona is just that, a persona? And if so, how long can she keep up the act?
But this is such a interpretation of perspective, because I watched the footage, and I'm sure we all have, and, it's very easy to argue.
It's not just her reputation that's on the line, though. The financial implications of this lawsuit are massive. Blake may be a Hollywood A-lister, but even she isn't immune to the fallout of a high-profile legal battle. Think about it. Lawsuits like this are expensive, and if she loses, the damages could be staggering. Justin has already countersued for defamation, claiming that Blake and her husband, Ryan Reynolds, orchestrated a smear campaign to ruin his career. He's seeking hundreds of millions of currency units in damages, and if the court sides with him, it could be a financial blow that Blake and Ryan aren't prepared for.
Opens up interpretation to what Blake Lively is saying was uncomfortable, and the key word here, unwelcomed.
Okay, Brian, Blake Lively's team, they released a statement saying in part.
And then there's the impact on her career. Let's be real, Hollywood is a fickle place, and public perception plays a huge role in whether or not you get cast in the next big project. Blake has already faced backlash from some of her peers. Remember when Henry Golding, her co-star from A Simple Favor, admitted he found her intimidating on set? Or when Anna Kendrick reportedly avoided promoting the movie with Blake? These aren't isolated incidents. They're part of a larger narrative that's starting to paint Blake as difficult to work with. And in an industry where reputation is everything, that's a dangerous label to have. But here's the kicker. Blake doesn't seem to be backing down. Her legal team is doubling down on their claims, and she's reportedly prepared to fight this case all the way to trial. Some insiders believe she's doing this to protect her image, while others think it's about something deeper, maybe even a personal vendetta against Justin. Whatever her motivations, one thing is clear. This isn't just about justice. This is about power, control, and the lengths one person will go to in order to maintain their place at the top.
She also provided a cease and desist letter, asking them to cease, quote, all unlawful conduct, namely what they alleged is the, quote, harassing and retaliatory media and online campaign against Miss Lively.
And let's not forget about Ryan Reynolds. He's been largely silent throughout this ordeal, but his name has come up multiple times in the court documents. From accusations that he tried to pressure Justin into taking the blame for the film's production issues to concerns about private conversations between him and Blake being leaked, Ryan's involvement adds another layer of complexity to an already messy situation. Some fans are even speculating that this lawsuit could put a strain on their marriage. After all, legal battles like this don't just affect the people directly involved. They have a ripple effect that can touch every part of your life.
If you look at this scene that was captured on tape, you'll see there's nothing nefarious going on. She says this actually proves her point. There's an argument that she is hiding her discomfort with what he's saying and doing, and she's just trying to finish the scene like any kind of professional. Which way you take it, which way you perceive it, again, that'll be up to a jury or the fact finder.
So where does this leave us? Right now, it's hard to say. Both sides are digging in their heels, and the case isn't set to go to trial until March 2026. That means we've got plenty of 26. That means we've got plenty of time for more twists, turns, and bombshell revelations. But one thing's for sure, This lawsuit is shaping up to be one of the most explosive Hollywood scandals in recent memory. And whether you're Team Blake or Team Justin, there's no denying that the stakes couldn't be higher. As the drama surrounding Blake Lively continues to unfold, it's clear that this story is far from over. But what do you think? Is Blake's lawsuit against Justin Baldoni a genuine quest for justice, or is it part of a larger pattern of manipulative behavior? And how will this legal battle impact her career and public image in the long run? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's keep the conversation going. Until next time, stay tuned for more celebrity gossip and Hollywood drama